Hey guys, welcome back. This is Morgan Tebeau with Fused2Fitness, and I'm here to bring you day 2 of our 5-day resistance band training. So yes, welcome back. This is day 2. If you missed day 1, make sure you go back on my page to see day 1, where I demonstrated 8 different exercises that you can do for a back and biceps workout using just your mini resistance bands, these little loops, these Versa loops. So today we're going to continue to focus on upper body. And before we get started, can I just take a second, because this is quarantine hair, you guys. I haven't been anywhere. I have not been to the salon. I actually hadn't even washed my hair in like 4 or 5 days because I just haven't had time. Washed it this morning, just kind of hung my head over the sink, and with the exception of like all the gray that's happening right now, it's looking really good. Just saying. Okay, I digress. But all right, so we're back, and I'm going to continue with upper body training today with your mini bands. So for today's workout, yesterday we did back and biceps, which are all pulling muscles. So today I'm going to flip that to chest and triceps, which are all pushing muscles. And I've got another set of 8 exercises for you, and you may want to grab a pen and paper, because at the end of the demo I'm going to give you a workout that you can do with these 8 exercises. I'm going to tell you what order to do them in, how many reps, how many sets, etc. So hang with me, guys. Let's start with some tricep movements. Now, your triceps have this is the back of your arm. It makes up actually the bulk of your arm. People tend to focus a lot on our bicep. We really like that flex, but the tricep makes up the bulk of your arm. It's about 2/3 of your arm. Katie, what's up, girl? And the tricep is made up of 3 major muscles. We've got the long head, the lateral head, and the medial head. And we want that classic sort of horseshoe shape. So we want to be able to activate all parts of our tricep when we're working out. So to be able to do that, there are different exercises that we can use to stimulate muscle growth in and kind of target those areas. And we can work with vertical pushing motions, and we can also work in a horizontal plane with the triceps. So I'm going to show you a couple of different options that you can add resistance to those with your mini band. And the first one is a kickback. What I'm going to have you do is loop the band around one hand and grip it. Okay, so I have the band in my left hand. I'm going to place it on the right shoulder so it's across my body. Okay, opposite hand goes into the band. For this kickback, I'm going to take one leg forward and hinge towards that knee. Elbow has to lift. What I'm looking for is the shoulder and elbow should be in alignment for this to work. The elbow also needs to tuck in close to the body. Okay, you don't want it flaring out. I want the wrist to stay locked in nice and straight, and I'm only going to move from the elbow to the wrist. I'm going to press straight back and then pull back into the hip. For this movement to really target your tricep, you've got to hinge forward. We want to hit triceps are in the back of your body, so we want to lean forward, so we're focusing all that tension, all that resistance behind the arm. The other thing that is going to be totally critical is that the shoulder stays pulled back and the elbow stays in, and that alignment that I just talked about with the elbow, as soon as the elbow starts to drop here away from that alignment, we're pressing down, we've changed the movement. We completely changed where we're engaging muscles. So we want to lift, keep that straight line, and press back. So if you can see, I don't have the elbow flared out. I have it pulled into the body so I can push straight behind. That alignment's what's really going to help target the long head of the tricep, the one at the back of the arm, the one that we most often maybe think of. So that's your tricep extension. You can do that from kneeling or from standing. If you're standing though, you're still going to have to get into that bent position where you're hinged forward so that you can lift and press straight out behind. Okay? So that's our kickback. That's a horizontal pressing movement for your tricep. The next movement I want to show you is a vertical press. So a lot of times in the gym, you might see people using the cable machine with a bar or even a rope where they're standing and they're pulling down like this. That's a tricep press down. You can do the same movement with your mini band. So you could be standing or kneeling, whichever one. Similar position where we're going to lock the hand across the shoulder here. Hand is flat inside the band, elbow tucked into the body. Keep the wrist locked in straight. And I want you just to press straight down, like your knuckles should be facing the ground here. Lift it back up with control. Press and squeeze, release with control. Okay, so it's important to keep the wrist in alignment. You don't want the wrist bending back here and trying to press down. You're gonna strain your wrist. You want all that locked in, loaded, all the joints in alignment. Press through, okay? That's your tricep press down. We can also do a press in a vertical range of motion. How many of you guys have been in a body pump class, or you see people in the gym and they're doing overhead tricep extensions like this? It's a classic movement that you can also recreate here with your band. And when we're pressing overhead, again, we are going to activate more of the long head of the tricep. So we're gonna hang on to the band. I want you to lock this in right at the base of your neck. Right at the base of your neck. Elbows are gonna come in, biceps by your face. You don't want the elbows opened out here. You want them in close towards your face. And then you're just gonna pull the band up. Again, see how I'm keeping the wrist straight? Don't let the wrist bend back against the resistance. Keep it straight, pressing up. You have a couple of options here. This band is a little bit light, so I'm actually going to grip it further down to create more tension and resistance. And there we go. You want to keep the shoulders out of the equation. Shoulders become an accessory muscle or a secondary muscle when we're working triceps. And so the more we tense up in that overhead movement, we want to pull them down away so that they're not working and taking over, okay? Get those, you might hear somebody say, a coach say, sometimes I'll say like, get your shoulders out of your ears. It's because you're shrugging up. You want to pull them down away. One more movement for your triceps that actually is not going to use the bands, but you're going to use a step or a bench or an elevated surface, is a tricep dip. So I'm going to place my hands, fingertips facing my body, and right outside my hips, lift up through the chest again. I'm not going to shrug the shoulders. I'm going to keep the shoulders lifted, and I'm going to bend the elbows and press up. Elbows bending. Just like we were talking about with the tricep kickback, where you're only bending from here. Same thing with a dip. Okay? So those are the 4 tricep movements I want to show you today, and now I want to get into the chest work. And actually I have 3 body weight chest movements I want to show you, and they're all push-ups. And I want to show you push-ups because we're talking about exercises that you can do from anywhere, from home, with minimal equipment. We're talking about the resistance bands mainly in this training, but you just cannot beat a body weight push-up. So if you have ever been in Fit Club training with me, you know that I love to use movements like pull-ups and push-ups that use your own body weight as the resistance. I think they're just really the king of exercises. If you can push and pull your own body weight, that's just true strength in my mind. So, a couple of things on push-ups though. I often see with form where the hands are out and the elbows are out to the side in line with the shoulders. Let me make sure you guys can see me. This is key. This is what I often see with our push-ups. And then as you're coming down to the floor, or as you lower your body, your face is kind of in between your hands. You know, it's okay, but it's not correct form. And actually what that movement is doing is it's putting a lot of load and a lot of the energy in the shoulders, which is a much smaller muscle than the chest. We want to activate these big muscles in the chest with a push-up. That's the main primary muscle working in a push-up, your chest. So in order to do that, the hand position and the elbow position is critical. And I want you to practice this. Look at yourself in a mirror. Get your hands so that they're just outside your shoulders. Your thumbs should be in your armpits. Look at my elbows. They're in line with my chest. They're not pinched in. They're slightly out, maybe a 45-degree angle if you want to get serious about it, but they are not extended in line with the shoulders, okay? They tuck back towards the rib. This is your standard push-up. Now, watch what happens when I change to a tricep push-up. The only thing that changes is not the position of my hands, but the position of the elbows. Okay, when I squeeze the elbows into my ribs, now I'm gonna activate more in the triceps. This is more in the chest. And then you can also move the hands wider for more chest activation and challenge, okay? That is the only time when you're gonna move the hands, is if you're activating into a wide push-up. So let's take a look at how that's gonna work. So when you're here, you wanna keep your chin neutral so that your spine is completely straight from the tailbone, from your heels, all the way up to the top of your head. Your body should be in a straight plank, okay? As you push out and then pull back in, the elbows are gonna come down in alignment with the chest. Your chest will lead this movement. Everything should be flexed. I always tell my clients, if you've ever done any workout with me and you're doing push-ups, I tell you, do not make your push-up just about your upper body. Your core should be tucked in tight, solid. Your butt, your legs, your quads, everything should be flexing and squeezing and helping you stay super rigid in that push-up position. It's gonna give you more control and more power overall in your push-up. So what I want you to do is, when you set up the push-up, get your hands underneath your shoulders, squeeze your legs together, and then tuck your pelvis in tight. As you lower, you lead with your chest, and your chest should come between your hands, not your face. Your face should not go between your hands. Your face should be out in front of the entire movement, okay? If you can see better this way, from here. Okay, we're good. So down, elbows are flaring open, but not in line with the shoulders. If I wanted a tricep push-up, I would squeeze the elbows in next to my body, my ribs, okay? Okay, so another point I wanna make with push-ups is, a lot of times maybe push-ups on your toes in that full body form is a little too much, or maybe you can get a couple of reps there, but you're not gonna get a full set of reps, like 5 or 10 or 15. So there are different options that you can do to help alleviate some of that body weight pressure, so you can continue to build strength. The first and most common option is to put your knees down and to do your push-up from your knees. Actually, I don't know if you guys will be able to see me if I put my knees this way. Let me open this camera this way. Okay. So in putting your knees on the ground, you're shortening the body lever that you have to push up, and therefore taking away some of the strain out of the chest, okay? Now, if you've done a workout with me, you know that's not my preferred method. I would challenge you to do as many good reps as you can on your toes. And then once you've exhausted that, I will challenge you to do hand release push-ups or elevated push-ups. In elevating your body, so taking your body from this flat plank to a slighter or even greater elevation, the higher you go, the easier it is. Gravity is working against you here. You have the most amount of gravity pushing down on your body when you're flat in a plank. As soon as you start to alleviate some of that gravity, that's gonna help alleviate the resistance or the tension that you have in the push-up. So it's gonna make it easier. So if you have the ability to put your hands up on a sturdy surface, a bench, the couch, something like that, that's not going to push away from you, that's not gonna push over, that's not going to break under your body weight, then you can elevate your push-up. On this curve is my example here, and help take out some of that body weight tension while still building the chest muscles that you need for that good push-up form. That's my go-to. So there's that. So that's our standard push-up and the wide push-up. And then when you're really feeling it, you can work your chest at a decline as well. So declining your push-up is gonna add more resistance, okay, in body weight. We don't have to pick up dumbbells. We don't have to have the bands or anything else. You can use your own body to make that exercise more or less challenging. So by inclining your feet, put your feet up on something, your chest will be facing down. Now you have more gravity in the chest, more body weight, more pressure, more tension, and that'll make the movement a little bit harder. Awesome. So those are my push-up cues or tips. My final movement for you today is a chest fly using your band. And there's 2 things that you can do with this. One, you can do this standing or kneeling. I prefer kneeling to make sure that I have more core control. What I want to do is squeeze glutes, make sure that hips are forward, and this is really tight through here. I'm going to hold the band out in front of the chest, and then I'm going to grip it, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that the elbow is soft on the pulling hand, and I'm going to pull out away. Now the trick here is to not let the other hand come with you. You want to keep this one strong, holding isometrically in alignment, and let all that resistance come out, and then squeezing back in with good control. You're gonna feel the chest open, really big flex right here, and then as you release, you probably are also gonna even feel this in your rear delt, right behind the shoulder. So that's gonna be our chest fly. That's one option. Shoulders are down, away from the ears. The second option is to do the exact same movement, but laying on your back. So you can lay down on the ground, hold the chest band right above your chest, and then fly out. You want to try to use a resistance with the band so that you can open your arm all the way till your elbow taps the ground. The focus here is not to lock out your arm. Okay, that's the key. You want to keep a soft bend, but you don't want to go into a 90-degree bend like you would with a chest press. Soft elbow, wide reach, control right here in the outside of the chest, and back up. All right, those are our 8 moves for today. And if you've got your pencil and your paper ready, I'm gonna give you your workout. So here's what I want you to do. For your chest and tricep workout with your bands and body weight, Jesse, it would be the same. Great question. Jesse's asking, what is the hand placement for elevated push-ups? They will be in the exact same position here, okay? That is your hand placement for your push-up. So you always want to have the hands just outside the shoulders. You can see this is rounding just outside the shoulder, the thumb's in the armpit. That's where you want the hand, okay? And that's going to be for a standard push-up or tricep push-up. The difference is just where your elbows are in relation to your ribs. And that's what's going to help activate the chest. Now, if you're trying to do a wide push-up, that's the only time that your hands are going to move. They're going to come from the shoulder, just outside the shoulder, to about now my thumb is just outside the shoulder. See that? That's where you want your wide push-up. But look at the elbows. They are still in line with my chest here, okay? That's where you want the elbow. Great, thank you for asking. All right, let me see if there were any other questions. What's up, you guys? Wow, awesome. Thank you guys so much for jumping on here with me with this training. All right, so here is your workout for your chest and triceps. It's the order I want you to do the exercises in. You're gonna do 3 sets, 10 reps each. And if it's a single-sided movement, you're gonna do 10 on each arm, okay? So we've got the kick back. So you're gonna do 10 on each arm. Then you're gonna do your standard push-up, 10 reps, whether that's on your toes or elevated or on your knees if you like. Then you have your tricep press down. That was here, pressing down. Single arm, so you're gonna do 10 on each side. The chest fly, 10 on each side, followed by your tricep dips. Okay, 10 total, elevated on a chair or a bench if you have one. After the dips, we want to activate the chest in our wide push-up. That's where you're going to take the hands outside the shoulder. Watch the elbow alignment. After your wide push-up, overhead extension with your band from here. We're going to do 10 on each arm. And then if you're feeling feisty, guys, knock out some decline push-ups, okay? So you're basically alternating between a tricep and a chest movement for those 8 exercises. I really hope you guys are digging this strength training option. Did anybody try the back and bicep movements at all from yesterday? I'd be really excited to hear your feedback. And also let you know, if you haven't heard, I am in the middle of training right now, a 3-week training with 6 other coaches for a new program I want to release called Muscle Burns Fat. This will be, in all, it'll be a 6-week strength training program that you can do from home. And the reason I want to show you the bands is because this strength training program would be flexible enough for you to do with dumbbells or with bands. So if you're interested in doing a strength training program from home, it would be a 6-week program. We're going to start with Muscle Burns Fat, and then that will be 3 weeks, and then move into another 3 weeks of Muscle Burns Fat Advanced. And those movements in the second 3 weeks are going to build on what you did in the beginning to get things kicked off. I'm really, really excited, and I'd love to have some people, some members test out this program, especially using bands if that's what you have, or dumbbells, and get you some great results. So if you're interested in that, make sure you comment below or send me a message. I know sometimes you don't want to comment publicly, and that's totally fine, to just reach out to me privately, guys. But anyway, enjoy this chest and tricep training. Make sure you check back in tomorrow around the same time, and I'll bring you guys another resistance band workout, and see you guys then. That's what I got. Commit, don't quit, guys. See ya.